Hey guys, Ponce here to talk to you guys about the new balance patch for Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is slated to hit on May the 9th. Now, just to be clear, it doesn't appear, at least for now, that the two new DLC characters, I don't think they're going to be included in this patch. That's probably a separate thing, because they haven't mentioned anything. That's Fuse Zamas and Vegito. So, yeah, that's kind of a future thing. I don't know if they're going to come with their own set of balance changes in a smaller patch in the future or what, but this is what we have. It appears all the stuff they were kind of hinting at in their preview of the patch is included here, so this looks like the major thing. It's rather expansive. You can see that the notes themselves are rather long. I kind of read through them. Most of it is just like bug fixes and stuff, and a lot of it's kind of unclear as to what exactly it's doing, because it's not like hard numbers have been shown here. It's just like, you know, oh, we adjusted the properties on blank, and, you know, I'm not totally certain how that's going to work out. I'm going to need some time to actually play it in game, or people in general to play it on game, to see, you know, the full, you know, effect of these changes. But on a quick glance, I just sort of highlighted or cut out some of the stuff that I thought was important and kind of copy pasted it into a notepad thing here. So let's just sort of quickly go over that from in sort of a rough order, at least in terms of importance, or what I think to be important. So yeah, first off, the kind of the big thing that really stands out is they nerfed the crap out of Android 16. I actually play this character, so I understand what this stuff means. I was expecting an Android 16 nerf. I'm not sure if I was expecting like this hard of a nerf. Like, I thought maybe they might really hard nerf him, but then maybe buff some other stuff or something. In any case, I wasn't expecting him to be nerfed this quickly. I was hoping the patch would come after the big tournament that I'm slated to join this weekend. But unfortunately, the patch is happening 3 days before, so I got some thinking to do in regards to this. Incidentally, it's a big tournament in Vancouver here, so if you happen to live anywhere in the area, you got like 3 days to sign up for it. I'll put a link in the description below to the sign-ups for the tournament, so if you happen to be kind of anywhere vaguely in the northwest quadrant of North America, maybe you think about showing up, you know, say hi or something. But yeah, in any case, that's in terms of what they're actually nerfing with Android 16. Now players will be able to recover from the ground when hit by Android 16's Dynamite Driver. So that's his 2-3-6 light grapple attack. You know, he picks the guy up and slams him down. It's a hard knockdown. Basically what they're saying is, yeah, it's no longer a hard knockdown. So for those of you not super familiar with hard knockdowns, there were only 3 sources of hard knockdowns, at least off the top of my head, in the game. One was from Android 16, who doesn't meterless, was just a regular move. The other one was Gohan, or Adult Gohan, who could do it with the usage of 1 bar, I believe it was. So you use 1 meter and you could do it. And everyone else had access to it via their level 3, their level 3 abilities, including the 2 characters we just mentioned. So everyone could do it. Just, yeah, basically, if we talk, including the thing we're going to talk about in a bit, the only way to hard knock down people in the game now is through level 3s. Of course, tons of characters still have access to sliding knockdown, which is a different thing. A lot of people call sliding knockdowns hard knockdowns. Make sure you differentiate between the 2. Okay, so next, the other thing they nerfed Android 16 on, which I didn't really see coming. I thought, you know, maybe they just removed his hard knockdown, that was it. They've also removed the instability to ranged attacks from Android 16 standing heavy, jumping heavy, and crouching heavy. So it appears Hyper Armor, if I'm reading this correctly, his Hyper Armor attacks don't work against ranged attacks anymore. So presumably that includes like the Ki Blast style things and the beams. So that's pretty rough for him. Sort of a double whammy. Not nearly as big as the no longer hard knockdown thing, because that was kind of like a lot of his play revolved around the fact that you got hard knockdown with this character, because that was just so good. But you know, just like a little extra blow to the character after he's sort of already down. Alright, so next, this is pretty important here. Vegeta, the regular one, not the blue one, so regular Super Saiyan Vegeta. They reduced the duration of block stun for Vegeta, Vegeta Z assist. So it's hard to say like what exactly this is going to mean here, because they don't give exact numbers. You know, we'll have to see how it plays out in game and how it like interacts with, you know, follow up and other, you know, characters doing stuff while you're in block stun, etc., etc. But I think most people saw this coming. No one was really sure what they were going to do to his assist. I've seen several people predict this is exactly what they were going to do, but again, depends how big this is. Pretty much a no-brainer. Something along these lines is going to happen, though. Vegeta, I mean, as far as I can tell, he is the most popular character in the game, with arguments made for he is the best character in the game, simply based purely off of his assist. And, you know, the fact that the character himself is pretty, like, decent. But yeah, if this is a pretty hefty nerf, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I don't actually really care fighting it too much. It's just, it was annoying seeing Vegeta pretty much every single game. Like, just, he was the no-brainer pick. He was, you know, he's the easy mode combo character, and it's like there was no reason really not to pick him. Unless, you know, you're like me and you're intentionally just not picking him because you don't want to be another Vegeta player kind of thing. But anyway, we'll see how that works out. So Cell here. It's less about what they're actually changing this. I'm not actually sure what this means. This is his like ranged grapple thing. I've seen people say that this is like a buff to this. In any case, the thing I find noteworthy about the Cell changes or lack thereof is the fact that, yeah, Cell is just changing so little. People speculated that he wasn't going to get changed at all because he wasn't included in like the preview picture thing of characters that were going to be changed. So yeah, one of, I would say, a fairly easy argument that he is one of the best characters in the game is just pretty much totally untouched. So I imagine we're going to be seeing a lot of Cells, or continue to see a lot of Cells, especially considering the other top tiers are just kind of being nerfed pretty hard. Alright, so next, in terms of, again, top tier stuff being changed, Adult Gohan, he's being just sort of nerfed across the board. So modify the properties of Adult Gohan's down light to match with other light attacks. So not really sure what that entails. Again, it's one of those cases of modified blah 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 blah. It's probably Nerf, if I had to guess. So this one I'm pretty sure, or this one is definitely Nerf. So modified Gohan's adult heavy version of air medium or mid-air ultimate back attacks so that opponents are now able to ground recover when it. So that's the thing I was talking about with the hard knockdown. That was this thing, I'm pretty sure, where he was in the ground, because I don't know names, but by context it just seems like you can tell what it is. So it's that thing where he kind of like warps above the person and then like punches them down with like this back fist thing. That used to hard knock down people, much like Android 16's slam thing. So he straight up cannot do that anymore. So that's pretty significant. Again, only 2 characters had access to easy hard knockdowns, and they're gone from the game. So making the game, I guess, more consistent across the board makes sense to me. This is another one here. I'm pretty sure this is also Nerf. Reduce frames, yeah, okay, this is straight up Nerf. It says reduced. Reduce the frame advantage of Gohan's heavy version of machine gun kick when it's blocked by an opponent. So you're not, I believe it, I'm pretty sure that was plus on block. So you could just like keep going after you did the heavy version of his machine gun kick. Now I'm going to guess it's no longer safe and you got to do something I call an assist to make sure you can kind of keep going ham on the person, sort of thing, like every other character in the game. But yeah, there you have it. Now in terms of characters that were just straight up buffed, there were several. It's a bit more unclear in a lot of other characters' cases of what's going on, but Nappa was just kind of like straight up buffed. I don't know how much that means for the character, or just sort of noteworthy that it just kind of stood out immediately like, oh, this character was buffed. Probably, anyway. Again, there's just stuff that says like adjusted, so it's a bit hard to tell. But for you Nappa players, maybe this means something to you. To me, it doesn't. I've never actually touched the character. It's one of the few that I've never played, period. So this I included just because I thought it was sort of interesting. Now Kuririn's Z assist will always throw a rock unless the player is inputting left when he appears on the screen. So it looks like it's giving a bit more control as to whether or not you want to be throwing out a Sinzen or just a rock. No one plays Kuririn, so I don't really know what that means, but I thought it was noteworthy. Here's another character that was did at least receive a, as far as I can tell, a rather blatant buff, aside from a whole bunch of stuff that's like fixed blank, you know, and who knows what a lot of that means. So Beerus, reduce the recovery frames of Beerus's down medium attack to match with other moves. So I'm guessing, because I'm pretty sure that was unsafe. So that's his like full screen sliding thing, and if it was blocked, you could punish it, unless the person vanished or something. So we'll see what that means. I feel like it's a buff, but again, I would have to mess around with it in game to see like exactly what that means. Also, noteworthy stuff: fixed an issue where scaling that should have been applied to non-recovery to prevent combo loops isn't applied when starting a combo with certain moves. So what that means is, I'm pretty sure what this one means is that like the glitchy infinite loops. There weren't too many in game, but there were some. Like Ginyu had one when you started your combo up with Rikum's beam, mouth beam thing. You could get an infinite off that. I think Android 21 had a couple. But in any case, but as far as I can tell, like, that stuff is just being fixed. So that's sort of noteworthy. So yeah, again, there's other stuff in here. There's in fact a lot of stuff in here that may have significance to the game. But it's just sort of a little bit difficult for me to tell at the moment, because a lot of the stuff it just says like fixed blank on characters I don't really play. So yeah, look over this stuff yourselves. I'll put a link in the description to this as well for those of you who are interested. If you think I missed anything particularly major, please let me know. I'm pretty sure I did. For example, there's probably some stuff with like Android 21 that's a bit noteworthy, but I just can't tell, etc, etc. Oh, also Gotenks. Oh, yeah. Allegedly, I should have mentioned this. I didn't write it down. Allegedly, Gotenks' assist restands has been removed from the game, which is his own, like, it's kind of a weird thing. I don't really want to sit here explaining restand stuff for those of you not familiar with what that already is. But yeah, that's noteworthy. Yeah, so it's things like that. Just feel free to discuss that in the comments. That's it from me, guys. We'll see how this all turns out. I really gotta figure out what I'm doing here, especially with Android 16. I was actually kind of planning, if I was going to remove anyone on my team for the new DLC characters coming out soon, it was probably going to be Android 16. Just because I foresaw nerfs in the future, I just wasn't expecting them this quickly, right before the tournament, and it's on a patch separate from the new characters, so that's a bit problematic for me. But anyway, I'll figure it out. I'll see you guys around. Thanks for watching, and as always, goodbye.